Hello, everybody. I have a few things to talk about tonight, real quick. I went by my local coin dealer's shop, and he brought out quite a bit of different things to show me and other people that were there. Um, he had bought some Morgan dollars from somebody. He had quite a few. He had a lot of silver rounds. He's asking $29 for silver rounds, even though Buffaloes at some of the online stores they were wanting 31.50. But he told me how much he would pay for a Mercury dime. He said 4 rims, he'd pay a certain amount. And he'd pay a little bit less for Roosevelts because I'm thinking about taking some of my dimes and trading them to get something a little more premium, something that has more value than, over its silver melt, that is, than what most of the dimes I have are. He also told me how much he'd probably pay for quarters right now. Uh, was above melt. But that's not too bad. I mean, I've got plenty of coins that I've bought over the years that were less than melt. So let's talk about some of the new items that I got this week. I'll have videos going live eventually. Um, we'll start with this. It's a Queen Victoria era 5 cent piece from Canada. It's sterling silver. This one's worn and bent some. I have a few other coins. I just got a bag with a bunch of these 5 cents in it, but only one of them was a Queen Victoria one. It's probably in better shape than this one is, though. So we can lay that one down and move on to the other thing I got that is kind of neat. This is a Canadian proof with Elizabeth II on it. And this one's from 2006. What I was able to gather online, this is the Victoria's Cross 150th anniversary edition coin. Um, Online, they say it's 4.9 silver. The guy I bought it from said he thought it was sterling. Either way, it's a 25-gram coin. It's kind of big. Not quite as big as a Morgan dollar, and not quite as, probably about the same. Well, it might be wider slightly, but I thought it was a neat looking coin. He had priced it with about what the online price was listed, $25, which it's not quite an ounce of silver, so it's above melt, but not a whole lot. But this particular one, they made under 100,000 total coins of this design. Some of them are proofs. In fact, about 3/4 of them are proofs or so, and then the other ones are just uncirculated editions. Either way, that $25 is about what the online suggested price was. I mean, I looked it up on Numista to see, and it's it's got a pretty high number for the rarity, which on that is if it's 0 or 1, it's a very common coin. If it's above 50, it's starting to get very, very, rare. It goes up to 100. 100's a coin that most people won't see. All right. After I went by my coin dealer, I went to the bank and asked if they had any dollar coins. They had this Eisenhower dollar. But while I was at my coin shop, guy was there talking about different varieties of these for 1 year, where he said something about Angry Eagle or something. I don't know. He's trying to claim that some of them are worth $10, but I don't know. I don't think I would pay $10 for an Ike dollar unless it was a 40% silver one. Then that's different. This isn't silver. But they also had a Sacagawea, which is 2004 Denver. But this is classic inflation for you. Your coins, same denomination, get smaller. Worth the same face value, but $1.71 compared to $1 in 2004, the buying power is quite a bit less now than it used to be through inflation and other problems. Let's talk about something else I got recently. 1981, Philadelphia's Susan B. Anthony dollar coin. This is, other than the proofs, this is the lowest mintage coin of the entire series of Susan B. Anthony coins. The Philadelphia, they made 3 million and maybe a little change, 10,000 more, 3 million, 10,000. But at 3 million, it's less than the Denver and San Francisco from that year. Then they wouldn't make them again until 1999. They made quite a few in 1979, tens of millions in 80, and then hardly 10 million across the entire run of 1981 ones. So it wasn't a very popular coin. But finding one that's an 81 is kind of neat, I guess. I have some kind of Susan B. Anthony collection card thing I got from Littleton. Don't know whether it's got the 81 coins on it or not. I can't remember. But while talking about coins with Queen Elizabeth on it, I pulled this one out of my collection. It's got this holder that has a sliding cover in it. But this is Elizabeth and Philip, their wedding anniversary, their 25th wedding anniversary coin. It's not silver. Still kind of neat. And you can see the coin has mint luster, so it's circulated slightly. It ain't very much. But most of these coins like this weren't made for circulation. They were just like a commemorative. All right. Here's something you don't see too often anymore. Series of 1928, and then has an A. This is right before the Great Depression started. They call these funny backs because of what the back looks like. This one's circulated quite a bit and fragile. That's why I'm not going to take it out of this. I did when I made my video that'll go live later, but I put it back in this. I'm going to keep it in this because this thing is very fragile, very worn, and would probably crumble up if I handled it too much. So that's why I'm going to keep it in this to kind of protect the bill. It's $4. It's a silver certificate, which if I open this up, you can see silver certificate there. They're kind of neat, but funny backs, I ain't seen very many of them like this. Of course, I don't have very much old paper money. I have some, but not much. So we'll put this stuff all up here because I'm going to turn my attention to a different thing for a little bit. Got this box of quarters. I'll turn this sideways a little bit so you can see the box. In the front of it is a bunch of barber quarters. These I'm going to keep. I'm not selling off my barbers. That one's in pretty good condition. Got it at the at a coin show. The whole back rim is intact. So if this was sent to ANAX, it might get at least a good 8. I don't know if that would make it a particularly valuable coin, although this up here gives me cause for concern that the dark might be considered environmental damage. But it's not in real bad shape. Neither is this 1893, which is the second year of issue. In fact, on this one, you can actually see some of the little bumps in the front, and its reverse looks like it's got the full rim on it too, but again, the dark spots here, here, and here make me think it might be environmental damage on the coin. So grading would seem to be not a real good option. 1900, back's worn real bad. That's what tends to happen to these. One side, the rim gets worn off quite a bit, and the other side, the rim's pretty well intact. We did breeze by the 1897, but it's nearly slicked out, although the rim looks intact. And I've got several that are Orleans mint in this box. And I've grown to really like the Orleans mint ones, so I'm not going to be selling these. I've got quite a few of the 1907s and 1908s. By the way, if you're going with Orleans coins, the 1909 Orleans quarter is a bit more expensive. It's pretty low mintage for a quarter, and I think survivability is an issue with them. There's not a whole lot out there. So we'll set these up here while I look at some of the other stuff. Now this one and this one are both pretty nice looking. Although this does have the dark stuff on the back a little bit too. But you can see that on its rim, the dimples or tentacles or whatever you want to call them on this, on the back at least, are pretty solid. Front is where it's not quite as solid. It's just little bumps. It wasn't cheap. This one, again, it's got darkness along there. It might be toning. But these, yeah, I'm not selling the barbers. But what else is in here is all stuff that I could trade. And that's something I'm thinking about doing. Is taking some of these, like these standing liberties, which I have quite a few of the 25s, the 26s. That one looks a little bit polished up. It's not lost as much detail as some of them, but I'd have to go through and carefully select. See, this one was 4 1/4 when I bought it, so it was bought a while back, and so was that one. But I'll have to carefully select these and see how many of these I want to part with. That says VG on it, 28. That says Choice Fine Plus. Which, looking and kind of comparing the two of these, does look like this has a little bit more details on some of the higher points than this one does. But any of these that are like under $6 are all coins to consider selling or trading to get something better. And by better, I mean something like a Carson City dollar or something, you know, just something nice. I mean, 5 1/4, 550, 35S. I mean, these full rim coins, I don't know. Well, I'm not selling the 37S. I forgot that was in this particular bag. like that one's $3. So I could, if he's going to pay almost $5 a quarter, these ones that are $3 would give me some buying power. Gosh, well, that one, not trading that one off. Earlier ones, but before 1940, that have good mint luster on them, like this does. I mean, this is hardly worn. A few scratches, but that's a really nice looking quarter there. I kind of forgot I had this one. I have a 41, I think it's S mint, in a different place that's $18 when I bought it, but it's a really nice looking quarter. So I have to go through and kind of like decide which one of these I'd be willing to sell or trade. But you already know the 37S is not going, and I'll tell you why as soon as I get these situated back in the box. The 1937S is the third lowest mintage Washington quarter. About 1.6 million of them were made. So it's kind of a semi-key date one, although this price doesn't really reflect that fact very much. The 32S and 32D are way lower, around 400,000 something of each. So there's 4 times as many of these as what there are those, either one of them. But 1.6 million is much lower mintage than any other silver Washington quarter other than those. So this one won't be going. It's going to stay in my collection. Now this box goes out to some modern ones too, and if you haven't seen the modern proof ones, this one's got kind of a weird haze along the edge here, but this is 90% silver. It's a deep cameo style. I don't know what else is back here. Some uncirculated 64Ds, which is a really high mintage. Now, if you haven't seen the old silver proof coin ones, they did not have frosting on them. They're just real shiny. Has a totally different appearance to the coin than what, almost like a watery surface. It's an entirely different kind of proof than what they make nowadays. I'll compare it again. Side by side, you can see how the high spots are all frosted. The background's really shiny. The whole coin is. So that's how they're different now. But I will have to look over these more and decide what I want to keep and what I might want to sell or trade. Like when you're talking about 58D, that's not a proof one. This one looks like it's pretty well close to uncirculated. But it was $3.75 when I bought it. And its trade-in value to get something different would probably be at least $1 higher, or almost. I mean, so I have to make a decision. Do I want to trade a bunch of dimes off, or do I want to trade a bunch of quarters off and sell some? Basically, it's not really selling when you're trading them to get like a Carson City Morgan dollar or something, which is in nicer condition than what they sometimes are. I mean, so that's kind of what I'm looking at. whether or not to trade off some of them. Oh, I want to show something a little different. I was at Walmart today and they had these, which are Loker. They're like a wafer cookie. I bought them because 8 little squares is only 16 carbs. So 2 carbs per square. So if you're carb conscious and you count your carbs, this doesn't bust it so bad. But I ain't never seen these before. And it does say on the bag, new. So I'm going to go ahead and try one and see how much I like it. By the way, they make these in hazelnut too. Alright. Well, here's how it can be only 2 carbs. It's not very big. But is it any good? That's the question. Well, we're going to try one right now. That's pretty good. I like that. Gonna have to close them up and put them away before I eat the whole bag. That kind of defeat the purpose of low carbs by eating all of them. But it's something that could happen. I mean, anyway, for about a month and a half, my coin dealer's been selling big weekends on his selling of coins. Last weekend, on Sunday when I went back, the guy told me that it wasn't that great of a day, that weekend. So I think what's happening is silver's rising. A lot of people are like, FOMO buying lately, which means fear of missing out. And they're just trying to get as much as they can before the price goes up so much they can't really buy much. And then I guess they hope that the price keeps going up and then they can sell and make a big profit. I'm here to tell you the price of silver has gone up and down a lot over the years. And what you could get for those quarters that were 3.25 would probably be $6 today at my coin shop. He can't pay you $6 if he's going to sell them for $6. And that's one thing to keep in mind if you ever think about trading or selling coins. Who you sell it to matters. If you're selling it to a buddy who likes coins like you do, he'll probably pay you the same as whatever that coin would cost at the coin shop, maybe. Or if he's your buddy, you might give him a little bit of a break, but he'll probably pay you more than the coin dealer will because the coin dealer wants to turn around and sell it at a profit. And if he's paying you what it is worth, let's just say this. This is 25 grams, but let's just say it was a 1 ounce round. Well, I don't even have to do that. I can get one out. By the way, what I'm bringing out here is probably not the best examples because these tend to carry a premium. But let's just say this was priced at whatever 1 ounce of silver is, and you determine how much it's worth. Well, usually these rounds like this, they get about $3 to $4 premium. But this isn't the same because it's a Libertad. And these Libertads, the newer one or the older one, they're 1 ounce of silver, but they carry a bit of a premium. But let's see if I can find one that isn't a premium one. That's really what I want, a Buffalo or some other non-premium round. Alright, sorry for the slight delay. I found some of the rounds that my coin dealer has had in the last month or so, and I've bought some. By generic silver round, I mean non-government issued silver like this. This is a commemorative for the Walking Liberty $50. Yeah, I think this was made for the 100th anniversary of making these. In 2016 was when it was made, I believe, maybe. Now, I have a Standing Liberty one too, which is pretty cool. But it's considered generic because it's not issued by a government. It's made by a private mint, like the A-Mark Liberty Bell here. It's Liberty Silver, which we understand Liberty Silver is no longer in business. It got bought out by somebody, but I don't remember who it is. I was told this Pearl Harbor one's a slight premium one, and online these Pearl Harbor ones tend to sell for a bit more than what other generic ones do. Here's an older A-Mark Liberty Silver, Liberty Bell one, 1983 on it. It says Liberty Silver right on the coin. Well, not coin, the round. Has no dollar denomination on it because it's not issued by a government. Funny thing is, these don't have a denomination on them either, but they are issued by a government. The Mexican government made these. Mexican mint, anyway. And then this was the constitutional mint that made this. And it's interesting what it says here. It says, no state shall make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debt. Article 1, Section 10, U.S. Constitution. So what they're saying is, according to the Constitution, they're not supposed to make any coins that isn't silver or gold for payment of debt. Well, everyone knows they don't follow that anymore. But this is the USS Constitution ship. It's real neat looking. And U.S. Navy keeps this, I believe it's this one, in their on their register of ships. It's used during Fleet Week and stuff like that. Doesn't go out to high seas. I mean, it was designed to back in the day, but not anymore. Now, these appear to have slightly different thicknesses, and they're not all quite the same size by the diameter either. But that's 6 ounces of silver. Now, this isn't a 1 ounce one. It is 30 grams, 90% silver, 5 pesos, which just means 5. This was actually made to be circulated and used, although they only made them 2 years, 47 and 48, and the 48's the more common. And I've seen people that's bought these, and I got this for under melt when I bought it, and I've seen other people say that they've been able to get some for under melt too. Thank you, John. How you doing? John Jacobs is a good guy. He comes and watches my videos quite a bit. I want to thank him for stopping by. But yeah, I bought this for $19 a few weeks ago, and the day I bought it, I calculated its melt value by how much silver's in this, because it's 0.868 ounces. because it's 30 grams. And I got it for 19 bucks. And the day when I bought it, silver melt on this was $20.18. So I got a dollar under melt, which sometimes you can get lucky with certain foreign silver coins just because if they price them too high, they'll just sit there and they'll never sell them. That's one way to look at it. This is a large coin, though. When you compare it to U.S. Morgan dollar, it's a bit bigger diameter, and it has more silver in it than a Morgan dollar does. Out of all the Mexican silver coins, this is one of the biggest ones they made. Yeah, I thank you, John. I kind of just said that, but this is the more common year. They made a lot more of these than they did the 47. But I've bought quite a few different Mexican coins lately because I kind of like this look. I want to get the 47 of this, and I'd like to get more of these just because of how big the coin is and the details. Now, they make a 1 ounce round that has this same look here, but on the back is the Aztec calendar. But it's a 1 ounce silver round piece. Yeah, the 47 would be more than the 48. But depending on who you get it from, sometimes, usually my coin dealer uses their silver content weight to determine the price, and that's what he sells it for. It's how you get some things kind of cheap. Like when I bought this, I'm trying to think of what silver was, but when I bought it was $27. And typically these Libertads like this is an 84 one, they tend to sell for quite a bit more than that. Their premiums on some of these is higher than the American Silver Eagles. Back when I bought this one, 2003 one, it was $42 when I bought it, and online the best price I could find from anybody online on these was 44 that day. That this year, that is, too. Has to be a 2003 one because the mintages vary a lot on these. But it was $2 less than what online was asking, so I didn't feel too bad about, even though $42 for a 1 ounce silver is kind of expensive. I mean, any these things when I bought them in the last week or few weeks, been around, I want to say $27.50 to $29 range, depending when you got them. By the way, I'm still kind of perturbed. I had one of these that I sent to A.G. Stacker, 1776, and the damn envelope got torn open. 47s and a bunch of 48s. Might have been Mad Stacker. Could be. But anyway, I sent him one of these, just like this one, because I know he'd love the Liberty Bell. By the way, I just did a video shouting out to him. He is doing a big giveaway, and if you do a video about it, he'll enter you into the giveaway, and you could possibly win. Should have written it down who it was. Yeah, that would help, because there's a lot of people I follow on YouTube now that does these videos. Reasonable price too. Yeah. Well, I would surely get more of those. I'd like to have a tube full of them. Who am I kidding? But you can start buying tubes of these. You better start having a bunch of money. Even getting these for $19 a piece, if you could. I mean, that's probably just a special case. The other coin shop I went to had some 48s, like four of them. They wanted like $30 a piece or something for them, which I don't think is super out of line. I mean, online these tend to cost more than that. AmpMix has them, and they were not. They were quite a bit higher than what I ended up paying. But back to what I was talking about. The A-Mark Liberty Bell. I sent one to AG Stacker, and the envelope got torn on the end, and this was removed. Everything else I put in the envelope was in it. So if it got torn open by the machine, it's a freak accident. And if it did get torn open by the machine, there's a chance he might be able to get it back because he's complained to his postmaster, and the postmaster is looking into it. There's a chance. It might take a while to track it down, but there's a chance they might be able to find it. If they do, I hope they can get it to him. If they can't find it anywhere, it means someone probably cut it open and stole it, which is kind of what he initially thought. And when I saw the envelope, it's what I initially thought. Now, I've mailed coins to New Silver Stacker and a few other people, and I've mailed other stuff to AG Stacker even. That was the first time I've ever had an envelope not make it intact. And it was not just a regular envelope either. It was one of the clasp envelopes that are heavier paper. So it's kind of disappointing. So I want to send AG Stacker something else because he sent me some nice silver pieces. And I have sent him stuff, some old mint coins and stuff, but I want to send him something nicer. I wanted to send him one of these, but I can't trust the U.S. Post System to get it to him. So I'm certainly not going to send him this one. Not after that. If I could find more of them, I might send him one, but if I could find more like this, I think he might like this one even better because it does have a date on it. It's an A-Mark one too. It's pretty cool. It's got good dark toning on it and stuff, but anyway, it's kind of my report for now. Things I bought. If you're still there, though, I don't know if you saw this. This is a 28 silver certificate funny back. I call it because this back looks quite a bit different. I'm not going to take it back out of this plastic because this is very brittle. And I'm afraid that if you handle it much, it'll just crumble into pieces. And then it's not worth anything then. Anyway, some other people were live, and I didn't go live last night because they were live then. And I went ahead and went live anyway tonight because, well, I got to put content out there for people. And I hope that if anybody drops in on this tonight and they like this kind of content, like seeing this kind of silver, will like and subscribe to my channel and watch more of my live streams and other videos I've done. I mean, where my channel is right now, I do a lot of shorts. They don't get enough views to get me monetized. You've got to have an astronomical number of people. Yes, I did. I didn't know it was 200 million. I mean, what I initially heard was something like 15 million, but if it was 200 million, that's pretty crazy. I heard about it, and what it was, it's just crazy. Oh, 20 million. Yeah, I heard 15, but maybe it was 20. That'd be a lot of these. I mean, they made a lot of this particular year. They made more than a million of them that year. They made more than a million of them in 47. So if you had a million of these coins, of course, I hate to even think how much space that would take up, but that would be 20 million at least in coins. Be crazy, actually. You know, I know some people hoard stuff like crazy, and they could probably say the same about me. I mean, how many casual collectors do you know that has one of these regular coin boxes full of quarters like this, let alone having more than that? A lot more. Or people who have boxes like this full of dimes or Morgan dollars. Anyway, yeah, I I have a feeling that they're going to have to tighten their security up because that's a really bad thing to have happen. And there's thieves everywhere, so got to be careful with your stuff. Um, anyway, I don't want to go live much longer, but thanks for stopping by, John, and whoever else is out there, because no one else has said hello or made any comments in the chat. But like I said, where I am as a channel is quite a bit short the hours needed to be monetized. Got enough subscribers and all the other things that qualify you except for the watch time. I mean, be different if all you had to do is reach a certain number of subscribers, and then you would be monetized. But no, they want you to get a certain amount of watch hours too, and it's not real easy when you're doing mostly short videos. I've been doing longer videos, but still they don't get watched enough. I mean, this thing though, this is kind of neat. This is called a military challenge coin. I actually served at Fort Leonard Wood, although when I was there they didn't give these out. So when I saw it, my coin dealer had it in a box full of these challenge coins, and I saw it and I said, "Hey, I served there." This is Garrison Commander and Command Sergeant Major's Coin of Excellence. Soldiers, families, and civilians. So, had I served at Fort Leonard Wood when they were giving these out, I probably would have got this. But it's got a depiction of a flag with stripes and a tree, which Fort Leonard Wood's in the middle of the Mark Twain Forest. Plenty of trees out there. They're also train a lot of engineering people. Combat engineering, that is. Thanks. And then the families are represented there. When I went, it's a pretty busy fort then. I don't know if it's still as busy as it used to be. I mean, it might be busier. I mean, there's quite a bit of soldiers there. It's a good sized fort. It's not the biggest, but it's not a small one either. But no, so when I saw that, I was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and buy that just because it's neat. I actually served there. It's like something to remember the place by, rather than the fact that in the summer it's very humid and hot. Yep, Navy or Air Force. Working on jets on the Navy, though. I mean, you're on an aircraft carrier. it's kind of dangerous. It's dangerous on an air, Air Force base, but at least you know you have a little bit more leeway if an airplane comes in weird. An aircraft carrier, if it comes in weird and crashes or something, if it hits the deck, and you're probably going to have fire and other problems. You might have it on an airport, but at least on an airport, you ain't got to worry about the fire lighting up other airplanes because they don't generally keep your airplanes sitting alongside. Oh yeah, more adventures in the Navy, exactly right. But you don't at a typical airport, you don't keep lying down the side of the runway with a bunch of airplanes. Yeah, probably I wouldn't doubt it for a moment. Crashes, yeah, wouldn't doubt it for a moment. Now, when I went to Fort Leonard Wood, they had a testing range where A-10s would be shooting and stuff. And sometimes they'd fly right over our head. They also had I don't really remember what kind of airplane it was, but it was a faster fighter type jet that they used to test too. I mean, where I was, the fort, when I was in basic training, the Fort Airport was right next to us, basically. Not real close, but there's a street and then an open field to some kind of fence, and then beyond the fence was where the airport was. I almost got blown off the deck once at night. Yeah, that'd be pretty bad. But yeah, the airport was right out there. So sometimes you'd hear jets landing in the middle of the night. They had quite a few land there too. So it was interesting. And maybe someday I'll take a vacation and go back to Missouri. Probably not to Fort Leonard Wood, but you know, go to somewhere else, the Ozark Mountains or something. I don't know. Branson, who knows? But anyway, I'm hoping that you all have a good night. I'm going to go ahead and bring this down for the night because it's starting to get a little bit later and I got some other stuff I want to do. So hope that you all have a good day and hope that you can find any kind of treasured item that you're looking for. Yep, love working on deck on daylight. So take it you were probably on an aircraft carrier. Or maybe one of those helicopter landing ships, assault ships. But either way, I'm hoping that everyone has a good night. And, I don't know, maybe next week I'll be able to find something I really want to buy. Night was a different story. Yep, AC carrier. Yep. Well, you want to tell me which one it was? That is something I, studied and looked into quite a bit, was different aircraft carriers and different other ships in the Navy and stuff, because it's interesting. The U.S. government spends a lot of money on our defense, so we can have Navy that the ships work. USS America and the USS Eisenhower. That's pretty cool. Thank you for your service, John. And like I said, I got to get out of here. So hope everyone has a good night. Yep. Well, CV66, CVN69. That's pretty cool. Well, like I said, thanks for your service, and you know, I'll, maybe I'll go live again tomorrow night and have something else to talk about, but we shall see. But Peace. Peace out. Everyone have a good night. We'll see you next time.